Stocks closing slightly lower today after some lackluster earnings reports. Let's go to Deborah Kostroun at the New York Stock Exchange with all the details. Deborah.
Thanks a lot, Pimm. And yes, we saw some slight declines for our major averages. It was actually our lowest volume so far this year, something, of course, that we've been talking about for some time, but certainly that volume very low today. The S&P down for the first time in 4 days. The big news was earnings. Kimberly-Clark, of course, that's the maker of Huggies and Scott Tissue, leading those consumer staples companies lower after they released earnings. They trimmed their profit forecast for the year because of increasing material costs, and the company also saying that they would be increasing prices to consumers on their products. And Johnson Controls, this is the largest U.S. auto supplier, saying disruptions from Japan will cut its third quarter profit by as much as 18 cents a share. And speaking of disruptions because of Japan, Ford saying it is shutting down 3 plants in Asia and Africa due to part shortages from Japan. And they're doing that really kind of as a precaution to preserve their parts. And of course, we'll be hearing a lot more from Ford tomorrow morning as they will be releasing their earnings, Pimm.
Indeed. And I think Tom Keene has Alan Mulally of Ford on surveillance midday tomorrow. Now, Deborah, just tell us a little bit about gold and silver, because that was the big story today. Not necessarily, though, that the material stocks moved in conjunction with gold and silver.
You know, that's right. Silver and gold surging to records as people expecting China to be big buyers of the commodities, but that did not help the material stocks. They were actually the worst performers in the S&P. And if you look at some of the silver stocks in particular, they've really been seeing a big run-up recently along with the price of silver. So maybe today, at least not too surprising that the stocks they weren't up just because the physical commodity of silver was up. That's it from here, Pimm. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Deborah Kostroun reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.